Hi guys, and welcome to the first video on the channel of a new series of football prediction videos. Also in this video I will do a quick recap of the European fixtures for the Scottish Premiership clubs that competed in Europe this week. I wasn't able to do a full reaction and player ratings for any of them because of work being really busy this week. However, I am going to do a quick recap when it comes to the games or fixtures that feature any of those teams this week. But a quick look at the current table as it stands. Obviously, Celtic and Aberdeen top on the same amount of points. Both the only unbeaten clubs left in the top flight. In terms of league fixtures anyway, of course, Celtic did dismantle Aberdeen 6-0 in the League Cup semi-final in the previous weekend. Big week for them. Two clubs personally to see if Aberdeen can keep pace with Celtic, if Celtic can get over any potential European hangovers. It'll be interesting to see what happens in their fixtures. Rangers, of course, they got a win against Motherwell in the League Cup semi-final last weekend, although the performance still really wasn't there. 3 points clear of Dundee United. Of course, Dundee United have played a game more, but the bigger one for them was probably 3 points clear of Motherwell, and they've played the same amount of games as each other. So Rangers will be looking to pick up a positive result to stay ahead of Motherwell and Dundee United this weekend as well, albeit with a game more to play than Dundee United. Dundee sitting in that last top six spot at the moment. They, of course, have been hot and cold this season, struggled a wee bit since losing Luke McCowan at times, although a positive result for them last time out. It'll be interesting to see how they get on this weekend. St Mirren and Kilmarnock, two teams that probably suffered from European football this season, and they are now in a position where they'll be looking to pick up as many points as possible and fight for those top six places to get into Europe again. Interesting weekends for them this weekend. Ross County and St Johnstone, probably the two teams that most people would have pegged for that 12th and 11th place spots this season. Squad-wise, results-wise, of course, that's not been the case for them this season so far. Let's see if they can keep that up. And two teams that people wouldn't have expected, particularly Hearts, to be in this stage of the season, given their performance last season and the squads. Two teams that really need results quite badly and start getting them fast. Obviously, Hearts have played a game more than Hibs, but you wouldn't bet on Hibs being able to, the way that they've handled games recently, one win all season in the league, for example, be able to claw back enough points, even with a game in hand, to overtake Hearts right away. Let's get into the fixtures, though, for this weekend. So, starting off with today's fixtures, we have Dundee United versus Ross County. I think it would be foolish to bet against Dundee United, particularly at home, and they'll be looking to, despite the fact that Rangers do have a game in hand over them, try and close that gap on Rangers if at all possible, even if results go their way, being level on points with Rangers by the end of this game week. So we shall see what ends up happening overall. However, I think a Dundee United win is the only thing that can really be on the cards for this game. And will they keep a clean sheet? I'm going to say no, they won't keep a clean sheet. I will go for a 2-1 win for Dundee United. Very interesting game for me. Hibs versus St Mirren. The bookies, of course, have Hibs as favourites. They tend to do that with the home teams, of course. And Hibs are more than capable of winning this game. But defensively, that, and especially towards the end of games, that's where they need to hold out. I'm going to cop out, and I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in this fixture. 19% of people seem to agree with me on that. But a 2-2 draw at the end of this game is what I'm going for. Motherwell versus St Johnstone. Motherwell will be hurting a wee bit coming off the back of that loss to Rangers in the Cup semi-final, particularly after taking the lead. However, I think they should, despite the fact that St Johnstone have shown at times that they are playing better football under the new management. I do think I would back a Motherwell win for this game. I'm going to go for 3-1 Motherwell. Let's key that in, and 57% of people agree that Motherwell are going to win this game. So 3-1 Motherwell, I'm reckoning. And on to the final fixture of the day, the later kickoff, Aberdeen versus Dundee. I think Aberdeen will continue their unbeaten form in the league, and I reckon we are going to see Aberdeen come away with the 3 points, and I reckon it will be. Let's go for 2-0 Aberdeen. So let's key in that vote for Aberdeen. Yep, 75% of people are going for the Aberdeen win. 2-1 Aberdeen. 2-0 Aberdeen in my opinion. On to tomorrow's fixtures. Kilmarnock versus Celtic at Rugby Park, a notoriously difficult venue for both Celtic and Rangers to end up going to. However, I think with the form that Celtic are on, flying high after the result, against RB Leipzig midweek, I think Celtic will come away with the win. If Austin Trusty and Cameron Carter-Vickers are injured, which I saw on X the other day, and they don't feature, then I don't think it will be a clean sheet for Celtic. But I am going to go for a Celtic win, and 76% of people agree, and I think the result will be 3-1 Celtic. Exact same result as they got against RB Leipzig. Speaking of which, quick recap on that game based off the highlights. I think Celtic were actually unlucky to concede when they did. A little bit shaky after the goal, it seems, as well, but for the most part, they seem to be in total control of the game. Standout players for me, of course, Nicholas Kuhn, excellent first goal, gets a brace as well. I think Hatate stood out heavily as well. So those would be my two main standout players. Not that anyone else wasn't great, but those would be my two main standout players for the game. And I think Celtic have put themselves in a tremendous position to get to the next stage of the Champions League, which can only be good for both Celtic and the coefficient for Scotland as well. And on to the final league fixture of the weekend, a 5 o'clock kickoff tomorrow between Rangers and Hearts, arguably game of the weekend. Celtic Kilmarnock is obviously a very tasty fixture as well, as is Hibs and St Mirren. Obviously Aberdeen, with the form they've been in, are always going to be in the conversation for fixture of the weekend as well. Very interesting game here. Both teams coming off the back of European game, and Rangers coming away with a more positive result than Hearts. Of course, Hearts arguably should have been out of sight in the first half against Heidenheim, but it came back to bite them, not taking their chances, which Celtic kind of were used to in previous Champions League seasons before this campaign, not taking the chances, and it came back to bite you. Rangers, I mean, you don't know what you're going to get from them at the moment. Obviously, positive result against Olympiacos. Arguably, maybe could have came away with the win as well at one point. I do believe still that both Rangers and Hearts are in very good positions. Hearts more so than Rangers, in an excellent position, I would say, with Hearts, with their quote-unquote easiest game still to come at home in their last game. But I would expect both to make it to at least the next stage of their respective competitions in Europe, despite both having relatively poor seasons by their standards. This game is very difficult, I think. If Hearts are able to frustrate Rangers like they have been domestically, who knows what will happen. However, given the fact that it's at Ibrox, and Hearts do not have the best record against Rangers over recent seasons, particularly at Ibrox. I mean, you just need to remember back to last season where they were winning with like 5 minutes to go and then conceded 2 late goals. I'm going to go for a Rangers win since it's at Ibrox. I would not be surprised if it was a draw, and I would not be surprised if Hearts nicked the win with how both teams are going at the moment, to be honest. It's hard to predict, very hot and cold. However, I am going to go for a Rangers win. I'll go 2-1 Rangers at the end. So that is that for the first prediction video for the Scottish Premiership. I might do prediction videos for Champions League games, stuff like that, Nations League games, mostly focusing on Scotland, to be fair. This is the final set of fixtures in the Premiership before the little mini international break for the Nations League, and then the next international break after that, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, will be for any friendlies and World Cup qualifiers as well. So without further ado, please like and subscribe if you're new around here. Feel free to check out any match reactions, the Scottish Premiership team of the season so far, in my opinion, and the SPFL RTG, the next episode of which I'm planning to get up later today, if not tomorrow. And I will catch you later on.